All right, today we're here with Kathryn Hensley. She's on the St. Lucie School Board, and she has absolutely honored me by coming and meeting with us today. I, as a dad, right, as a parent, had some questions when I was moving into the county. There were a lot of things that I looked at with the schools in this county and comparing them to the different counties that surround us. I was a little bit concerned. So I asked her to come in and answer a few questions for us today so that we get an accurate depiction of where the county is, where it's been, and of course where it's going to go in the future, right? So thank you, Kathryn. I really appreciate you joining me today.
You're very welcome. I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you.
But I'm always excited.
Always excited. I tell you what, we've been talking for the last 10, 15 minutes, and she has such an incredible personality. You are so warm, so outgoing, and if you've never really met with her, right, you've never really sat down and talked with her, she has such an incredible innate passion for not just the schools, but honestly the community. So it's been just great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think this is the most fabulous place to be.
It is. I agree with you. We did a ton of research before we came down here, and we were open to the entire country, but we chose not just Florida, but St. Lucie County because of the safety, the schools, the opportunities. It's so affordable to live here.
Right.
I mean, I could really go on with all the different things that draw you here.
I think that's why we're a hot property right now, literally.
Yeah.
But you know, we have so many opportunities for our students that some of our kids have a difficult time deciding what they want to be when they grow up. And as you know, it's very important to find out what you don't want to be, as well as find out what you do want to be.
Absolutely.
So giving them the opportunity to just choose between ROTC or culinary arts or vet tech, all those separate programs, it's great opportunities for our kids.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, with the schools in St. Lucie County, how does the zoning work?
Well, the zoning has changed over the years. We were forced into zoning because of a federal lawsuit for a long time. Decided to go into a controlled choice program where parents have opportunities of choosing schools within a zone instead of being assigned to a school. It was very difficult as a parent. We moved here that I waited till the 1st of August to not know which classroom my kids were going to be in, but which school they would be assigned to. And then one year, my 2 elementary kids were assigned to two different elementary schools.
Ooh.
So that was unacceptable.
Yeah.
So we moved to controlled choice. Then we changed our zoning. As the demographics of the community changed, we changed the student assignment zoning. So when a parent comes here, they now this year can register their child online. We have all these different schools. I always recommend you go visit a school, talk to the principal, because you have all these choices, right, of where you want to put your child. We find that most parents really prefer their child to be close to home or close to where they work. About 85% of the students get their parents get the first choice. And that usually has to do with capacity and sometimes the timing when they move here.
Yeah.
So, but I will tell you that there's not a bad school to choose from. It's just a school of convenience.
Oh. Okay.
We have a very high free and reduced lunch in this community. We have 17 schools that get free food, period. Every school is a Title I. That means it's over 50% free and reduced lunch, except for Lincoln Park Academy.
Okay.
All of them are. So that's our demographic. Doesn't make any difference. Our kids are successful. So you go to a school that may have 75% of their kids on free and reduced lunch, or you go to a school that has 30% of their kids on free and reduced lunch, which we don't have any of those anymore. But the curriculum is the same. The nurturing is a little bit more different at times. So there's not a bad choice. So the choice is whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe the demographics when you walk in and see, the people in the front office, do they make you feel welcome?
Yeah.
Did you like the way the school looked? Those type of things. So that's where it comes down to now, because the curriculum is a high level curriculum no matter which school.
Yeah. Okay. So just to share with you, and I know I talked with you a little bit before this, but so you guys know too, before I moved down here, I had interacted with literally thousands. It was about 3,500 people on Facebook, all the way from Martin County up to northern St. Lucie County. And that turned into probably 200-300 great conversations. And it was, these are the restaurants you should go to, these are the beaches you should go to. But the big part of that conversation, especially from parents knowing that I had girls, was, hey, here's the difference in schools between the different areas. And it was an obvious, strong consensus. Anybody in Martin County, which is just south of us, said, listen, the schools in Martin County are phenomenal, and the schools in St. Lucie, you want to stay away from them. In St. Lucie, I got mixed reviews. but when I got teachers, when I got principals, when I got school board members, it was very fact-based. Like, listen, 5-10 years ago, maybe it was one story, but I'm telling you it's changed significantly, and here are the statistics. And I was blown away by the difference in perception versus reality.
Yeah.
So I was hoping you could share with us today some.
Well, we have raised our graduation rate. I'll give you one example. 10 years ago, our black boys graduated at 55%. Okay.
Wow.
Now they're 98.
That's incredible.
So even when we take in our alternate schools, for the kids that are struggling, okay, when we take in our alternative schools, when we take in our virtual school, our overall graduation rate last year was 92%. And that's because of the lagging indicators. So we had one school that had 100% graduation rate, one had 98% graduation rate. No school is below a 90% graduation rate.
Wow.
But at the same time, what we've done is we have less than 0.5% dropout. So some of the kids that are graduating, they're not counting in the graduation statistics. They are graduating with a valid diploma.
How are they doing that? Are they getting a GED, or are they doing it a year late?
No, we don't do GEDs.
Okay.
We have kids that are still in high school at the age 20.
Okay.
Okay? They don't count towards a graduation rate.
Yep.
But it's important that they have an opportunity to complete a program because maybe they have significant difficulties.
Yeah.
So we have made sure that every child has the opportunity. They count against the graduation rate, but they still graduate.
Yeah.
So the true number of kids who start with us, who graduate with us, is really very, very high.
Yeah.
So the overall, including all those kids, is officially 92%. So that's one of the highest in the state.
Where was that maybe 10, 15 years ago?
Oh my gosh, I would say probably 70% maybe.
Wow.
It was a big struggle.
Yeah.
Because we had kids that were, by some entities, I would say throwaway kids.
Yeah.
Kids that fell through the cracks, kids that needed us more than anything, and we didn't have the capacity countywide to be able to address all those. We fixed that. So every child that comes to us, no matter when they come to us, we want to make sure that they actually have the opportunities not only to graduate, but graduate with a pathway to college or to a career. So we have 52 certification programs in our high schools. That means they come out with a certificate that they're ahead of the game.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have a great alliance with the county and the chamber and economic development. All of those kids actually get jobs. We do internships, they get jobs.
That's awesome.
So we have tried very, very diligently to make sure that we don't let anybody fall through the cracks. And so we have graduation coaches. And so what they do is chase our kids.
Yes.
I'll give you an example that I just love. One of our principals found out that we had a student that just kind of disappeared, and he was going to graduate. So he found out where he was. He worked at Walmart. So the principal talks to the manager of Walmart. The child had to work because of his family situation. Asked him to give him flex hours so that he could go to school during the day and work at night. And the principal guaranteed that if he didn't show up, the principal would take responsibility. He graduated on time. He's got a full-time job.
That's amazing.
So those type of things are the kind of people we have that are so committed to the mission of the school district. But more than that, they're committed to individuals.
An individual kid. Yeah. As a dad, that means a lot to me.
And so I have a reputation of being a hugger. Okay. So, because I know that's good, right?
Yes.
So I haven't been to school. I've taken on a lot of committees that are out of the area. So I used to go into school, then these children would come up and get a hug.
Get a hug, yeah.
There is no better way to start a day than getting a hug from a 6-year-old at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I get about 50 of them every single morning.
It's the best thing in the world.
Yep.
And it gives you perspective.
Yes.
So as a school board, what we did a long time ago, when I was chair, I've been chair a few times, or whatever, we decided that we needed to start our meetings to show what our mission really was. So we always start with a performance of students, because it is about kids.
Yeah.
And we never drop the arts in our school.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start with kids, then we do honoring of employees or volunteers.
That's great.
Then we get to the business.
Yeah.
Because that gives us our focus. We're about children.
Yep.
We are honoring our staff in our community. Now let's get down to the business.
Yep. That's perfect. That's a great focus.
So that's what we do.
So how many schools are there in St. Lucie County?
Well, we have 38 schools that we are in control of.
Yeah.
There are 4 charters that we have basically no oversight.
Okay.
But we have 38 schools. We have about 42,000 students. We serve almost 40,000 meals a day.
Wow.
We have fabulous staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
We have almost 5,500 employees now. So a very large budget, of course.
Yep.
We are, however, I think the community would like to know that we are at the top of efficiency with administration money. That when it comes to the amount of money we spend on administration per student, we are one of the most conservative.
That's impressive, especially with the growth that you guys have
Yeah.
had in graduation rates and just economically how much we've grown over the last decade or two.
Right. The growth is, you already know, the growth is, for me, an opportunity.
Yep.
So when our demographics change so that we have, we are now about a third Hispanic, a third Black, and a third white. We have Asian, we have a little of everything, which is so enriching to go to a multicultural thing in a school.
Yep.
It's just the best food ever. So we have 57 different countries represented in the school district, and that's about 50 different languages and dialects.
Yeah.
So that was a difficult thing. How do we address that? Well, how about we put Rosetta work in different our schools, so parents can go in their day and learn English, which we did. And so we had the opportunity to put that in some of the libraries, thanks to our wonderful county library administrator. She's great. And then we also had the opportunity of setting up a group of us work to set up community computer centers, so they could go to the Haitian church or they could go to the Latin American Resource Center, and then they could use that system to learn English.
That's crazy.
And so that helped our students to not have to be taken out of school, because we found some kids were being absent because they were being the interpreters.
Yep.
Okay. So that's not acceptable. I want every child to school every day, if possible. Their parents had no choice. Let's help them do that, right? And now we have a system too that we can call somebody. I've got somebody from Ukraine.
Yep.
We don't know anybody that speaks that language, but they can speak French. So let's find somebody who can speak English and French, and then we have this interpreting system.
Man, that's a game changer for these families.
It is.
That's amazing.
And making sure that they are accepted.
Yeah.
And by making it comfortable for them to come to a school and ask questions about their child, and be involved with their child's life. So, we try to be strategic as much as we can. Yeah.
And speaking strategically, you talked a little bit about the lavaliers that you've implemented with the teachers.
Yes.
Can you go a little bit more in depth on that?
Well, teachers have, especially in Florida, teachers have a great deal on their plate. It's not the easiest state to work in because the curriculum often changes by dictate. So they were, when the anecdotes, hearing a teacher literally yelling at a class of 4th graders. And why are you yelling? Well, they can't hear me.
Weak voice.
Because her voice,
Kids are loud.
How do we resolve that? Well, we resolve that by giving teachers a lavalier so they can speak in their regular voice. And because of the sound systems in the room, we had to get portable ones for some of the schools. But because of the sound system in the rooms, they could speak in their regular voice and everybody in the room could hear them. That took the stress level down significantly. It took the stress level down of the teacher, therefore it decreased the stress of the students. And those type of things have made a great deal of difference, although most people don't know that those things go on because it's nothing that they would normally see. And including the security pieces and the things that we put in place before there was a mandate to do so, things we already put in place for the security of our children. And because security, if they're not safe, they're not comfortable, they're not going to learn.
Focused,
If they're hungry or they're stressed, they're not going to learn. Okay, so we have to make their environment, because schools are an environment. Okay, not just a building. So we have to make sure their environment is conducive to them to be able to learn at the best level that they possibly can, and surrounding them with whatever they need to make that happen, whether that be a good breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning. No, they should have been there at 8 because the cops were there the night before. Okay. Do they need a nap because they didn't sleep? Give them a pillow, they have a soft space to go for an hour, then they're going to be connected into the classroom. Those type of things are something that is accepted and expected in our classrooms.
Yeah, and with all of these little details you're giving me, again, as a dad and as a community member, it tells me that you guys are focused on the little details, not of the entire district, but of each individual
Right.
kid, which to me, again, as a dad, is super important.
Yeah, my official job is budget and policy.
The official job.
My unofficial job is to make sure every child has an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's just amazing. And I think that that's probably a great place to stop.
Okay.
But Kathryn, I appreciate so much all the time that you've given us. Again, I hope that this clarifies a little bit the differences between what St. Lucie County schools have been in the past, but right now I'm telling you, if you take the time and dig in as a parent into these statistics, they're just amazing to see the difference that the leadership have put into place, the things that they put into place and the changes that they've made. Really, again, as a dad, I keep saying as a dad, but as a dad, it makes me feel so comfortable sending my kids to schools
Well,
here.
people should feel free to email us if they have a concern or a question. My rule when I first got elected is I returned everybody's call the first day.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But they should feel free if they have a concern and they have a question to feel whoever they're comfortable with.
Yep.
If they email me that it's not my thing to take care of, I just make sure it gets into the right hands. There should be there's no closed door. So whoever they know that they have a concern or a question or just what information, let us know.
And Kathryn, where can they email you at?
Well, it's on the web. It's on the school board website.
Perfect.
But it is Kathryn.Hensley at stlucieschools.org.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. And again, if you guys have any questions for her, you can go right to the website. You can get all the information. It is phenomenal interacting with these guys. We just signed our kids up for schools and it was perfect. We got so much information, so much help. So again, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And you guys stay fired up.